We are unbound.
Oh, wait, sorry, wrong game.
Free. Unshackled. We push the limits in the most powerful cars. Cars we don't pay for.
I don't even want to know how much people pay in taxes every year while living in this county. And that's same for the vehicles that you don't get to have on the racer side of the game.
You may call us thugs, but deep down, you know you need us.
What basically the people that were up for defunding the police failed to realize.
I am not you. I am the life you're too scared to live. You are asleep. I am awake. I am the reality show, the catalyst, the 15 minutes you'll never have. You want to know why I do this? I want to know why you don't.
Some do it, even in real life. But some are smart enough to not document it.
We are the enemy of freedom.
I will run.
We are the shadow you can't
I will
shake.
never stop.
We will hunt you.
You will never catch me.
We will not stop.
You will make me
We are
famous. You will fail.
We will break
You are my
You are our enemy. You are our target.
Can y'all shut up? I can't even understand who's talking right now.
Every man has his limit, and the only way to find it is to go past it. Racing is about challenging the boundaries of your fear, your nerves, and your skill. It's about strapping yourself into a machine that's sole purpose is to convert gasoline into adrenaline. And once you've done it, you never crave anything else.
Exactly why combustion engines are better than electric cars.
Underground racers have traditionally maintained a low profile in Redview County.
Sorry, when I think of underground, I think of this, not this.
But since a video of a racer outrunning a cop went viral last night, dozens of other racers have begun posting their videos as well. The district attorney has been very vocal on the subject, stating that law enforcement agencies will be investigating all street racing videos, and anyone they identify will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law.
The most logical way to do this is to look up their license plates. But none of those license plates are going to be randomly generated or even always going to be personalized, so good luck in trying to find and arrest everyone. Not to mention that everybody is wearing a helmet, so hack their devices, find their IP address, pinpoint their location, something? If you can do that.
The mayor took time out of his busy schedule today to visit Officer John McManus at Redview County Hospital, where he is receiving treatment for injuries sustained in the line of duty. According to a police spokesman, law enforcement will not stop until those responsible are brought to justice.
Knowing this game's nature and ability to obtain and use pursuit tech, you would think that they would have acted out on this sooner rather than right now because one officer had to be critically injured. There had to have been officers in the past that got severely injured or worse.
If there is one lesson the police should learn from this, it's that they can't keep up with us.
That's kind of an understatement there.
They say we endanger the public, but they are the ones who aren't in control.
I mean, you guys are kind of putting traffic in jeopardy and fear, so...
But they don't want the truth. They want revenge for a crime that was never committed.
That depends. Depends if we actually crash into McManus. Did Zephyr do it? Did another racer do it? Was it caught on camera? What exactly happened? Sure, he could have got severely injured in a car accident trying to keep up, but that could have been any cop. And we don't know exactly how it happened, so I understand why it's unfair to put the blame on everyone, but it's either try to find the one person that was responsible for this, which is impossible to do, or shut down everyone.
The police were our rivals.
Roll credits.
In the meantime, the FBI's vehicle response team has been called in to secure the city until the police are cleared of wrongdoing.
Now we have a new enemy, the VRT, ex-Special Forces, and ex-Street Racers.
What's really the criteria to get to the VRT? Ex-Forces, that's military. Ex-Street Racers, what do you have to do to clear a record? Or do you have to be very good to not get arrested before getting the job?
They kinda carry a grudge. They don't play by the same rules the cops do. Their only purpose is to end you.
Ah, they're this aggressive. Okay, I got you now.
They say fate is a racer. But to those of us who have seen his shadow in our rear view, his tactics are unmistakable.
Nah, he is just playing Burnout and Need for Speed Undercover simultaneously.
There are those who drive for freedom, for release, and there are those who drive to release their aggression, to dominate.
That's majority of the player base. Single player and multiplayer.
Fate isn't one of us. Fate is a cop. The police seek to corrupt us from the inside. If they are going to use our cars to send a message, we will use theirs.
Well, just you that you managed to not only get their car from their depot, but also graffiti all over the car. Biggest cojones that I've ever seen out of a Need for Speed character. Too bad that we can't keep the car outside of its respected chapter.
The public is outraged after learning that all officers have been cleared in the use of excessive force.
Just like an internal investigation.
This is an open manifesto to all street racers. I am not your enemy. I am not a threat.
You look like a threat, and more than a threat, you look like a menace.
The police have called us a network of racers and classified us as an organized criminal enterprise.
Given that they don't have any other types of crimes to run in the county, yeah, they're gonna label you as an organization.
Within the last hour, multiple news outlets received a video from a source claiming to be Zephyr. He says he is issuing an open challenge to all street racers and law enforcement. In the video, he has posted a map where racers and cops can settle their rivalry once and for all.
Of going all over the county and knowing rivals, screw this event. And that was Need for Speed Rivals. We get that one and only in-game cutscene, and this is how it ends.
We are coming to you with live footage from Redview County, where the racer known as Zephyr has just been involved in a horrific high-speed collision with local police units. Paramedics are making their way to the crash site as we speak, but from this vantage point, it's hard to picture anyone surviving a wreck like that.
Great camera angle. Can you go around a tree? Zephyr is supposed to be driving a P1. That car doesn't get unlocked after this cutscene.
I am the reality show. The 15 minutes you'll never have. They say speed kills.
Coming down the mountain, speed kills, coming down the street. There's likely a high chance that his car is in critical condition right now. And if I were Zephyr, I would try to find the nearest gas station as soon as possible. Unless if any officers catch him first.
After a video of a street racer was posted online, dozens of other racers have begun uploading copycat videos.
All while doing it with, I don't know, invisible GoPros. You know, I always wonder where Ghost and Criterion managed to get in real life videos for the cutscenes. Because I doubt that they managed to do it themselves, given the game's development time.
The mayor visited Officer John McManus today as he recovered from his injuries at Redview County Hospital. While street racing in Redview County has caused thousands of dollars in property damage, this is the first time it has crossed the line.
Like I said earlier, there had to been officers that had it worse than him. There's no way that this is the one time that this crosses the line to start an all-out war.
Newton's third law says that for each action, there must be an equal and opposite reaction. Force must always be met with force. And excessive force must be responded to accordingly. The racers have shown that they are willing to cross the line in their quest to disrupt society. We must be willing to do the same to protect it, to teach our enemies that it is they who are in danger.
I can partially agree to an extent, but this is basically a corrupt officer's dream.
The Department of Justice has been called in to examine what is being called a culture of intimidation in the Redview County Police Force. In the precinct at the center of this scandal, all officers have been put on restricted duty while the investigation plays out.
Suspended with no pay? I don't know, you guys are getting paid?
We tried to play by the rules. And where did that leave us? Chained up on the side of the road like dogs. forced to watch as the racers mock us. We used to rely on strength and unity, a brotherhood bound by honor, believing that in a just universe, justice would prevail. If we want to win, we need to play by a new set of rules. Our enemies operate outside the law, so too must we. We will infiltrate their world.
Which is just you, and only you, choosing to do involuntary undercover work. If this eventually bites you in the ass and gets you fired from the force, just remember you could have suggested this to your higher up, like your supervisor or the chief of police. I don't hate the Enzo at all, but this is the only card that's available? Are there any other options, or is this what Fate wanted? And the same thing can go with the Koenigsegg. Is that the only card that Zephyr was able to find from the impound lot?
The appearance of a street racer calling himself Fate has triggered an overnight explosion in street racer violence.
So why even have a big chunk of subtitles if you're gonna cut it off a few seconds later?
Welcome to VRT selection, candidate. There's a reason we don't take many cops in VRT. We're brought in when you fail. After us, there's no one else to call.
What do you mean? Redview County can't afford a SWAT team or the military?
We use cutting-edge methodologies to find, fix, and finish our targets.
And those methodologies that are used on the road are basically the same ones we have been using since the beginning of the game. Though, you will get faster cars and be even more aggressive.
Seems you passed the test, candidate. Welcome to the nation's premier vehicle interdiction unit, the FBI Vehicle Response Team. Selection's an ongoing process, and every day we sharpen the blade. In the garage, you'll find your new equipment, entirely customized to you, and solely focused on getting the job done.
There's a high chance that I believe that you've been using the same equipment that you've been using. Basically the same loadout, just now you got a higher count.
The United States taxpayer is investing millions of dollars in you. We expect it to be money well spent.
On just Fate? No one else can keep up? And I know the VRT is very selective, it has very few people compared to the Redview County Police Department, but you making it sound like it's just only Fate. I mean, there's gotta be other officers, right? Or are you just trying to keep a good chunk of that taxpayer money to yourself?
We positively ID'd 3 known associates of Zephyr.
And by 3 known associates, he means anybody that you see on the street. It's not specific targets.
Our techs have decrypted Zephyr's radio signal. Stand by while they patch us in.
Tonight, I call on all racers to band together to protect our way of life from our true enemies.
We triangulated his signal to a couple miles from your position before his comms went dark.
Again, Zephyr is supposed to be driving a P1. Whether you want to consider it canon or not, or just being used as a placeholder for whatever you were driving on the racer campaign. But when you do this mission, he's driving anything but a P1. That's what I'm trying to say. And that was Need for Speed Rivals. We don't get to see the accident, nor we will ever get to see Zephyr actually getting arrested. And I mean, we will never get to see the accident because when you take down Zephyr, you don't actually crash yourself out in the process. The Venom GT is used as a placeholder for whatever you were driving in this mission. I find it funny that they used the Venom GT as a placeholder when this is literally the final car that you get as an unlockable after this mission's complete. And after you watch the cutscene. So, did Faye manage to get the Enzo out of the impound lot after he got fired? Or did he keep the car hidden if he knew a termination was coming?
Just when it seems the racing epidemic is over, a new video has surfaced of the racer known as Fate, who has taken Zephyr's spot as the top racer in Redview County. In it, he issues a challenge to all racers.
And that challenge is what? Go around the map in reverse? Now, how are you just going to re-release the same game as a complete edition package nearly a year after its release, but still have 2 cars to be locked behind an app that no longer exists anymore? Plus 2 versions of one of those cars. Ferrari Enzo Ferrari? Ferrari La Ferrari? You gotta give Ghost and Criterion some credit here that they managed to make a game in a matter of a year, or less than a year in this instance, given the amount of development time they were given for Ghost to be helped by Criterion as they were starting up as a studio. Obviously it has its shortcomings, but impressive nevertheless that this game is still playable, as long as you don't encounter with any glitches or bugs along the way. And I was also gonna say something about Always Online, but then I remember this game isn't really like 2015. It has its own offline mode, but the weird thing about it is you can't really pause the game even if you're playing on offline single player because of the all drive system that this game has. So it's basically a weird mix of multiplayer and single player combined into one. But then one thing that shouldn't have been integrated is the Overwatch app that they had in the past. You know, the app that you were supposed to check in your progress and all that stuff. I forgot how it went, but the app was basically live from 2013 to 2017. And after that, now it's impossible to get the Bentley and the Maserati that are in the game. And speaking of the Bentley and the Maserati, the cars, why alienate some to the police side and not on the racer side? Come on, what if I wanted to drive the Carrera GT or the LFA on the racer side without having to see or hear any sirens coming from them? It's still cool that they're in the game nevertheless, but still. But they still massacre the Carrera GT's sound. Now the story can be confusing if you're playing this for the first time, but once you get to understand it, it's a pretty good story till you get to understand the perspectives of both sides, racer and cop, and seeing the progression how tensions get higher once an officer gets injured, which honestly, that should have been an all-out war that started out sooner rather than when McManus got critically injured. But yeah, this game did also get its own reputation with the hashtag Craig It Up movement that happened back then because of how the game was and all. Mainly because of the bugs and glitches, but the game can be very frustrating at times, especially the AI, the police specifically. Customization is pretty basic, but it is what it is since you can't really do much with majority of the cars in this game due to licensing and what manufacturers wouldn't allow you to have on their cars. Or mainly because there wasn't enough time to implement a more in-depth customization that Ghost would implement on their games later on. And I really ain't got much to say else about Rivals. I mean, it's an okay game. It's a pretty decent game, really. Though it should have given it another year in development. Impressive that they managed to get it done in such a short time frame, but it should have been given more. And who knows how great it could have been, or even how better it would have been from the version that we ended up getting. So yeah, that's all I really gotta say. Mainly because of the bugs and glitches, but this game is also pretty frustratingly hard. Why the fuck are we getting the cops again? Coming down the mountain, speed kills. Coming down the street, speed kills with presence of mind. Speed kills if you know what I mean.
We are the law. You can't catch devils with angels.
I am not you. I'm the life you're too scared to live. I'm Sasuke Uchiha. Sasuke!
Our techs have decrypted Zephyr's radio signal. Stand by while they patch us in.
I'm over here stroking my dick. I got lotion on my dick right now. I'm just stroking my shit.
I am the reality show. The 15 minutes you'll never have. They say speed kills, but if you aren't speeding, then you aren't living.
Just engage the racer. Breathe easy, dispatch. 1044 is out of commission.